Greetings everyone. My name is Abdulaziz Elyas and I'm a student at Arafat High School. Today I'm going to be discussing about a very important issue, and that is of course racism. For many decades there were large numbers of groups and ethnicities that have faced both discrimination and violence. They have been granted an attitude that most of us don't even want to have a small taste of how it is being told to be less than others and not to have the same respect that others get. The only way to explain by words is by saying has turned into a chaotic living nightmare. But we, as Muslims, we are a global community of different diversities, variety, and color. We were taught to accept every Muslim and non-Muslims with complete disregard of their color, nationality, and ethnicities. In the end, I'm grateful for both of my parents and my teacher, Mr. Abdulaziz, for giving me all the support I needed to be who I am and to be where I am in this very moment. I would also like to thank ELDJ for giving me this great opportunity.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdulaziz Elyas and I'm a student at Arafat High School. Before I begin, I would like to thank you all for this great opportunity. It is such a great pleasure standing in stage, showing you my great work that I've worked hard in. Now, before I start this presentation, I would like to present you all a short video that has a really deep meaning into it. So I would like you all to please pay attention. As you can see from the video, the black kid tried to join the other kids at the slide. But what's unfortunate is that he wasn't wanted there. And also, he was entirely blocked from riding that slide too. Some of you might have perhaps guessed it, it's because he was judged by his skin color. Now, as you can tell all from the video, the topic of this presentation is going to be discussing about something huge, an issue that is considered to be one of the most threatening issues the humanity had ever faced. And of course, what I'm talking about is racism. Now, you might all wonder, what exactly does the word racism mean? In other words, the definition of racism. The definition of racism is the belief of the superiority of one race over another, which often results in discrimination and prejudice towards people based on their race and ethnicity. Now, as we begin to dive deeper into this presentation, we should all know that that kid on the video wasn't the only victim for racism. In fact, he's not the first and won't be the last, quite sadly. And to prove it, I have two great examples that would demonstrate to us how racism could possibly have a huge impact on people and would possibly change their lives in a huge way. The first example is, of course, the great story of Vivian Maloney. Vivian Maloney was an African-American student who applied to a university called Alabama in the US. She was considered to be one of the first students of color to ever attend the institution. That is, of course, until 1963. The university was racistly segregated, and not white students were not allowed to attend no more. Quite tragical, if you ask me. I mean, imagine you being blocked from a brighter future, again, just because you've been judged by your skin color. The second example are a bunch of statistics that shows a total of 60% of Muslims have faced some form of religious discrimination. So yes, out of all communities, out of all religions, we are the community with the highest number of people who have faced discriminational situations, quite sadly, even though in his farewell speech, the Prophet affirmed that all people are equal and that no Arab is superiority in non-Arab, nor is a white person is superiority in black person. Unless, of course, by virtue of personal integrity and moral rectitude. Going to the next part of this presentation, we all know that racism is not only between white and black, but instead it comes in many horrible shapes, such as racism in appearance, racism in nationality and religion. Racism has been crawling into people's heads for many decades, hiding among shadows, forcing the humankind to fight in a brutal war against its own kind. But not only that it did that, it had also changed many people's lives and turned them into a living nightmare. But I tell you, as racism is spreading so fast and affecting us with its poison, there is still that spark of hope that shines within our hearts. And what I mean by that spark of hope is, of course, those people who among millions stood up against racism and said, no more to racism. And yet some people call them foolish because they stood against a major problem that even societies didn't dare to face. But what do I call that? I call it being a heroic person, not a foolish person. Now you might wonder, why are they doing all that impossible work? What do they want to achieve? They, of course, want to achieve one thing, and one thing only, and that thing is to provide us with a peaceful life, with no harm. But the main question remains unanswered. The important question out of all what I said remains unanswered. Did we do anything to help? Quite sadly, we did not. In fact, all we did was just stand far away from the battlefield, looking at those heroes getting hurt without absolutely doing nothing. When what we did is just keep denying the fact that racism is still out there. We keep saying that racism is an issue that has been extinguished for long times. But I tell you, as there are people who stand against it, there will surely be people who stand with it. And we as a community, we should be able to tell the good guy from the bad guy. And we should also be able to offer the helping hand in order to extinguish racism. Now, I need you all to think about it deeply. Not by using our minds only, but also by using our hearts. Not by logic, but also by emotions. Yes, people, yes, we have different skin colors. Yes, we have different religions. Yes, we're not from the same country. Yes, we have different thoughts. But does that change the fact that we're all still human beings? Does that change the fact that we all deserve our rights? Does that change the fact that we all should be treated as people? No, it does not. It does absolutely not. We are in a great community that only wants to serve its people with a complete balanced life. And we, as members of this community, we should be able to do the next move. And doing that next move is, of course, by offering the helping hand. You might wonder that it's a bit too late to help, though. But I tell you, it's not too late to help. It's not too late to help. It's not too late to change. It's not too late to put an end to it. Know this, even if you helped a little bit, just a little bit, you are still a hero. And you can always help. You might wonder though, how? How am I going to be able to make such a big difference? What am I supposed to do? Well, I say that is up to you. No matter what you do, whenever you're going to do it, is not the real case. The real case is that you are still making that big difference. And that's what really matters. Now, before I close this presentation, I would like to mention two important things. The first important thing is a simple message. And that message is, even if we're different, we're still one people. Yes, there are a couple of words, but they have a really strong meaning if you put a little thought into it. The second important thing is a Quranic verse that proves we as Muslims, racism is nothing but an enemy to us. قال الله تعالى يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. Now, I would like to thank you all for listening to me and giving me your best attention. And I would also like to thank Mr. Abdullah Shab and both of my parents for giving me all the support I needed. And special thanks to ELDJ for giving me this great opportunity. Again, thank you all for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.